Welcome to Branch 1779's full coverage informational video series.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Branch 1779's full coverage informational video series. I'm John Mitchell, I'm the president, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about filling out the PS Form 3996. Now, in our first video, we talked about the reporting requirements for carriers, stuff out of the M41, stuff out of the M39. Today, we're going to do a step-by-step walkthrough of filling out the PS Form 3996. So, pause this video as you need to, refresh it, go back through it, grab a pen and paper if that's going to help. We're going to go ahead and fill out this 3996.
So, brothers and sisters, this is your PS Form 3996. It is the Carrier Auxiliary Control. This is the form that you need to request and receive from management. When filling out the form, we're going to go through this by boxes. Box A is the delivery unit, not the installation, unless the unit and the installation are the same thing in some of the smaller offices. B is the telephone number of the delivery unit. This is not your telephone number. C is the date. That should have no explanation. Well, it might. Put the date in that you're requesting the overtime or auxiliary assistance. D is the carrier's name and route. Printing helps everyone. And if you have a bunch of people in the installation or in the unit that have the last names similar, or you've got 45 Smiths or one or two Mitchells, put a first initial along with the route number. That helps clarify things. Box E is your lunch place and time. Now, box F talks about the shelves that you're giving off for auxiliary assistance. In this case, I've got quite a bit of mail today. I'm going to give off shelves 5 and 6 because I am an 8-hour carrier, so I do not want the overtime. G, keys required, yes. H, car fare required, no. I, yes, I do have some accountable mail. Now, these are the reasons why. I've got over-referenced DPS. I'm 1,600 over my base. I've got 85 parcels with a base of 20, so I'm 65 parcels over my base. I have 2 full covered sets of political mail, and I need to sanitize my LLV because I was off the day before. I don't know who has used it, and under the current climate, that's something that needs to be considered. Brothers and sisters, J, the reason for auxiliary use, you need to get as specific with these things as possible. You do not want to say heavy DPS, heavy packages. Make sure you're getting as specific as you can. It's going to help as we go through this, and if your steward needs to file a grievance. So, K is the estimated work for your entire day. I'm asking for 2 hours and 30 minutes, which is my way of telling management that if they do not provide me auxiliary assistance of any kind, I'm going to work 10 and a half hours. This is my way of telling them that. Now, let's look at box L, management action. In true management form, I've been approved for 1 hour and 30 minutes of auxiliary assistance. I still feel, as the professional on the route, I have an additional hour of work I need someone to take. In this case, if you ask for the time and management doesn't approve you the full amount you ask, you need to say to your supervisor, what am I supposed to do with the additional hour in this case? If they say ridiculous things like do what you got to do, get it done in that amount of time, I'm not giving you any more, you do your best. If there's a protocol in place for you to call the office, you call the office. Right now, I'm still looking at having to carry 1 hour of my own time. So these are reasons that you can put on that box J to say, hey, there was a late dispatch. Believe it or not, feeling ill, heat and humidity, all of that can be used. So I'm going to be driving a post-loan vehicle, an LLV. I need to say where my delivery starts, and then I need to list the block ranges of the streets the person who is going to be assisting me is going to be working. I also need to put down, in this case, we've got a collection, the address of the collection box so they know where to go to pick up the collection. Now, if you look up in box N, you see I've got 3 block ranges of Freedom Avenue. Well, in box O, you can find the relay box because that's my park and loop. You can find the relay box for that at 200 Freedom Avenue, which is why keys are necessary. Moving on. Once you, as the carrier requesting the auxiliary assistance or overtime, once you've got to box O, you're done filling out the form as the carrier requesting the assistance. Now, if you happen to be the carrier providing the assistance, you are going to fill out box P. Obviously, your name, and if you're assigned a route number. Unfortunately, in this case, T. Jefferson's probably a CCA or PTF. No route number assigned. I received no help in the office, so under the box for office begin time and end time, I've got NA is not applicable. Now, that little box just next to it to the right where it says time used, management is to fill that out. We don't fill that out. So let's go back into the bold box where it says street time. Mr. Jefferson began travel to the route. He left his route or his assigned route to come to my route at 4:05 in the afternoon. He arrived there at 4:10. By the time he got everything switched over, a minute or so later, we began delivering. Delivery ended at 6:30, switched some things back around, began travel back to the office, and arrived back at the office. Now, those are the times that we put in as carriers. Management handles, again, that box off to the right, travel to, delivery, travel from, and total street. We only put in a few things in there. Management gets to figure out the rest. Funny thing here, folks, on the back of that form are the instructions. A through N, with the exception of L, is everything that the carrier who is requesting the assistance must do. O, still for the carrier requesting assistance if it's applicable. And then you'll notice in section P, the carrier that completes the assistance does one. The manager is supposed to complete the other. As a point of interest, when you're talking about park locations, which is why it's important that you have the backside of the 3996, they're on Freedom Avenue. If there were specific park points that were outlined so no one gets hurt or the safest ones, I should have put them in there so the carrier that's giving me the assistance knows where to park to stay safe. This is what your completed form is going to look like. Again, fill in the boxes. If you leave something out that does not help your stewards, if we have to process a grievance, and management should be requiring you to fill it out, keep in mind, I write copy requested on mine, but you must remember to ask for a copy. Management doesn't have to provide it with you unless you ask.
Brothers and sisters, I certainly hope that you had a pen handy and took good notes, because the information that we're providing to you is going to benefit you. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. You have to request a copy of your 3996. It protects you in a lot of ways, and it benefits the union when we file grievances. Now, the M39, which is management's handbook, says that upon request, a completed copy is to be provided to the employee. So if you request that copy, management is obligated to provide you that copy. Now, let's talk about if they completely disapprove anything you ask for, or even a portion of what you ask for. It's still going to take you the time to deliver the mail. You need to ask them, what are my instructions? What do you want me to do with the remainder of the mail, or whatever you were going to hand off, or whatever overtime you were going to ask for? Chances are they're going to tell you something stupid like, we'll deliver it in 8 hours, or do what you got to do. Those are horrible instructions. Ask for instructions specific on what you need to do. In the end, you're probably going to need to speak to your steward, so make sure you request time to do that. Brothers and sisters, that wraps it up for another episode of Full Coverage. Do us a favor. If you like what we're doing, I don't know, there's a subscribe button somewhere around the corners of this video. Subscribe to our channel and share the video with folks you think could benefit from it. That's all for this time. I'm John Mitchell. We'll see you next time.